or in the public service. Lifting up holy hands, this was a custom practice in the early church. It revealed the dedication in the lives of those praying. Now, there are those who lift up their hands in service today, and they are sometimes criticized for it. There is nothing wrong with lifting up your hands if it is something you feel you want to do. Personally, I have always hesitated to do it because I'm not too sure about my hands, whether they are clean or not, clean physically or otherwise. Notice that Paul says holy hands. This means would mean that they are hands dedicated to God's service. My friend, you ought not to poke up your hand in a meeting if those hands are not used for the service of Christ. Without wrath, all sins have been confessed. You don't come in prayer with anger in your heart or with a bitter spirit, but with all your sins confessed without doubting. In Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6, we read, "But without faith it is impossible to please God. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." When we come to God in prayer, we are to come in faith. One of the reasons I feel that our prayer meetings are not better today is that people lack faith. They do not believe that God is going to hear and answer prayer. I do not mean to be irreverent, but sometimes I think the Lord must yawn during our prayer meetings because they are so boresome. Prayers should be made in our public services by those who have their spirit confessed, their sins confessed, who come without bitterness in their hearts, and who come in faith, believing that God will hear and answer. It is this kind of prayer that will make a prayer meeting what it ought to be. I think he could go in a little bit more detail here. I'm sure he has seen the same things I have. Is you have people threatening other people with physical violence in our churches, and then the next thing you do is you see them up there laying hands on somebody. They're trying, they try to make themselves out to be some holy person whenever they're a wolf inside. Our wolves and our vipers and all those things that we have in our church. That's where you're going to probably find them, is up front getting attention from everybody. They're psychopaths and sociopaths, and they want everybody's attention. They want the eyes on them. And you're probably going to see them up there with their hands laid on somebody praying for somebody. They're trying to make themselves into something they aren't. That's one of the hysterion portions of these mental disorders, is they want that attention. And so I've had my wife ask me, it's like they really want to be this person, but they can't be this person. No, that's not what it is. They want the world to see them as something they are not and cannot be. They are wolves in sheep clothing, and they want to be seen as a sheep, not a wolf. They want to hide the fact that they're a wolf, and that's what the sad thing of the matter is. That's why I'm kind of like J. Vernon McGee. I don't know if my hands are clean or not, so I don't necessarily raise them up in worship service, but I'm going to start. We'll see how that goes. I notice whenever I'm at WLJC, I lay my hands on Cecil, and I raise my hand whenever I'm praying with him. But that's not my background. In fact, one of my friends his head is spinning if he's watching this from my old uh, uh, American Baptist Association background. We were so anti-spirit that we kept our hands in our pockets. So, but we'll see how that goes.